We will also need to compare decimals to see whether one is larger than the other or whether they are equal. The best way to do this is to look at place value. You're always going to start with whatever digit is furthest to the left in your numbers. In these two numbers, there's a 0 in the ones place, so those are equal and they almost cancel each other out. Now, all we're left with is the tenths place, and this number, 2/10, has only 2 in the tenths place, whereas this number, 5/10, has 5 in the tenths place. 5/10 is greater than 2/10. With these two numbers, we'll use the same logic. I'm going to start with the digit all the way to the left. This has a 0 in the ones place, and this has a 0 in the ones place, so those are both equal. I can now move on to the other digits to make my decision. They both have a 1 in the tenths place, so I can cancel that out. They both have a 4 in the 100ths place. Many students now will say this number has more digits, so it must be greater. However, we're talking about value here, not appearance. The value of 0 is still equal to the value of 0, so these two decimals are in fact equal. Same process here. We're going to look at the digit all the way to the left first. This has a 0 in the ones place, and this has a 0 in the ones place. Those are both equal, so I can cancel those, and now look at the next digit. This has a 6 in the tenths place, as does this, so they're equal up to that point. This has a 4 in the 100ths place, as does this number, so they're equal to that point. This number has a 0 in the thousandths place, but this number has a 1 in the thousandths place. 1 is greater than 0, so this decimal is larger. Moving down here, same process. All the way to the left, we have a 1 in the tens place and a 1 in the tens place, so those cancel each other out. A 5 in the ones place and a 5 in the ones place. 0 in the tenths, 0 in the tenths. 0 in the hundredths, 0 in the hundredths. 3 in the thousandths, 0 in the thousandths. 3 is greater than 0, so this decimal is larger. In a few of these, note that just because a decimal appears to be longer does not mean that it is larger in value. We need to compare the digits from left to right in place value, and as soon as we find that one is larger than the other in the same place value, that decimal is larger.